Hello, hello. Welcome back to another video. Um, yeah, all right. For the second video of 2026, let's go. Let's get it. We're stepping up. We're stepping up, man. I got a mic. Camera is somehow looking better than it was literally the first day. Uh, but yeah, this is actually the same camera, so surprised it's looking this nice. It might just be the lighting. Not gonna lie. Um, I hope the microphone did catch that. But yeah, so you guys might be wondering what the video is about, and for a while now, I've been thinking of what I was gonna do with the video. So for a little bit now, I've been wanting to talk about identity, and because I know identity is like a big, huge part uh, today, and obviously, and then they might even trigger some people out there, maybe even watching this video, like, why is he talking about identity? Um, but I also feel like, as someone who's young in age, literally 18 years old, I feel like identity is a major issue among youth, and maybe even just some people within Gen Z a little bit. So I feel like I got enough of a leverage to talk about this a little bit. And so, what I want to do with this video first is talk about who I am. Before I even like go on, so this is all the video is going to be about. I will make a second, maybe even third part later on in the video, or not in the video. Another other videos tied to this one, but you won't probably need to watch this video for those videos to make sense. I hope to make sense. So anyway, because and the whole reason why I want to do this, like I want to do a video where I kind of explain who I am, because I don't want people, to like think of me less. Like it's on the internet, it's very easy to kind of like just, like kind of like lose focus and kind of like not on purpose, but like you can easily kind of like dehumanize someone across the camera because or like across the screen because it's very easy to forget that there's another human on the other side of the screen, and I don't want that to happen. Not that I'm saying that's gonna happen, but just I think it's easier if I express myself a little bit. That it's easy, for other people to get like comfortable and be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, this guy's down to earth. He's being genuine. Fine by me. Fine, fine. I will, I'll be genuine right back. So, and that's usually how it is. So, without further ado, I am Eddie, of course. Um, yeah. I am a college student. I go to Eastern University here in Arizona. I'm not going to dox myself um, too much, but I do live in the state of Arizona. Proud to be an Arizonan. I have been living here for 18 years now. I was born proudly in the state, and it will probably stay that way for some time. I will probably need to meet someone who wants me to leave. She's gonna have to get me to leave. That's just how it's gonna be. As y'all probably also know, I'm very much predominantly Christian. I'm technically a non-denominational Christian. I don't know why I said technically. That's not technical at all. I am a non-denominational Christian. So um, I can make another video if you guys need me to explain what that is. But going back to my college background, I am working. My major is secondary education history, so I want to be a history teacher. It's something that I've kind of love talking about. I love talking about history. I love learning history. It's something I've been so fond about. I realize I keep moving the microphone farther away. I'm very sorry. Um, no, but I love history. It's something so great. I love it. Um, there's something about learning history that's so nice. Obviously, as an American, I think American history gets sometimes a bit boring, a little bit, because but they want you to know it like the back of your hand, like, oh, who was the president that freed the slaves? And you go, eye roll, Abraham Lincoln, duh. Like that should be known to everyone. Okay, well, who was the first president? George Washington. We should all know this. Worst president in history? Or not James Buchanan. That's Marvel. That one really got to me there, but it was President Buchanan. I forget his first name. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that is his first name. I might have to scrap this from the video. Not gonna lie, I just fooled myself. Or maybe not. I can just leave this in because this is me being genuine. You know, obviously, I don't know every fact off the top of my head. Sometimes I'm gonna get things wrong. Sometimes I'm gonna forget things. That's just how I am as a human. I say I'm a history nerd. And sometimes that means that some people might expect me to know every history fact off the top of my head. I remember once I talked to someone. I was like in high school. They were trying to get me to join like the Navy or the Air Force or something. I said, "Yeah, I'm going into college to be a history major." They're like, "Oh, so when did World War II end?" I was like, "It depends. American, most of Europe says that it ended in 1945 when Germany fell. Americans, we don't have that end date because we keep fighting until Japan was conquered, or I guess not conquered, but until Japan surrendered, and then we took it over for like a little bit there. So by technicality, the war ended in 1946, a year after the Germans. So it all depends on who you ask. Same thing like if you were to ask someone who lived in the South when did the Civil War end, they'd go a lot longer because some states continued fighting even after South Carolina, was or what was his name? I forgot his name. This is something I should know. But point being that the agreed upon date, is when the Confederates surrendered, and by Confederates I mean the Confederate president surrendered. Of course, a lot of Confederates continued fighting after the surrender, but eventually all fighting did end. So, needless to say, but point going back to my point, I don't know all history. I don't know all facts. I am a learner, though I love to learn history. Sometimes it's a bit annoying having to study and like look up like articles and stuff, but that's just kind of like part of the thing. I hope to one day, yeah. Gosh, I hope to one day, jeez, man. I hope to one day, find a love for research. I really do, but I don't know. Maybe as a high schooler, I just find it really boring because it's like this is like the one thing I should love, and it just actually means more homework for me, and I don't like homework. But I don't know. Now as a college student, maybe, or as someone who doesn't have a history class, certainly right now, maybe I might like it more doing a little bit of history stuff. And I also like to do more history stuff on this channel because I am going to be a history teacher. I would like to link that passion to this channel a little bit. I like to anyway. It's like getting brighter and then non-brighter because it's, I guess, cloudy outside. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of messing up with the brightness, so not a little bit too bright. That's not the point. Sorry. Getting back to that. So that's a bit about me. Am I forgetting anything? Christian history teacher, college student. I think I am forgetting something. Let's see here. I don't want to get too political. Obviously, on this channel, I might dabble into politics every now and then. I'll try my best to kind of lean into a neutral uh, stance, but sometimes I might lean more to conservative bias, just simply because that is my bias. I try to look into the perspective of both sides. I talking really fast, and I try to be open minded. I really do try to be open minded. That's just something I've always kind of tried to do. I've tried to hear both sides of the story. Um, that because there's always more than just one sides of the story. There's always more than one perspective of a story, and like for instance, I've been in multiple car accidents. That's something I can actually say. I've been in 2 car accidents. I'm not going to get into the details of those, except for the fact that everyone was fine. Praise God. Um, but like in a situation like that, there's multiple perspectives of a car accident. There's first off the car I was in, for example, and then there was also the car that hit us, you know, or as they would say, we hit them. Or then there's also bystanders, where there are people on the, where the people on the corner, where there are people not in the corner. Was another car involved? Did they have a dash cam? What does a dash cam perspective say? All sorts of things. You know, there's always another perspective, and that's something I really love about history, is that there's always different perspectives of things and stuff. And also like a specific, also like as a Christian too, like I love to read, you know like reading the Gospels, like seeing like the different perspectives and the details that shift between each of the four. Seeing who has most detail. Uh, the answer is John, but seeing like the differences between them as well is very fun. You know, but all in all, that is like a little bit about me. Don't really have much else to go off of. I mean, I can get a bit more into like like complexity in me. I am a Latino American. I'm not white, believe it or not. You probably could tell based off of some of my facial features that I'm obviously not white. Um, yeah, I born in the U.S. My parents, or I guess one of my parents, migrated into the U.S. At a young age, and then my mom's dad, or my grandfather, he migrated from Mexico. He migrated from Mexico City. I forget at what age, but I know he was not. He was not young. He was, or I should say, not a child. He definitely was like probably like young, like around probably like my age, or maybe even a little bit older. So very much like young man, but not a child. He was not a child when he migrated. Uh, so that's a little bit of my that's a little bit from there. I don't really like talking about my ethnicity. I don't see it as I really don't see its importance. I'm like, I just live in America like everyone else here, right? Like, yeah, there's differences between citizens and then legal people here. Sorry, I don't like it. But I'm like, we're all for all of us U.S. citizens, I really don't see the point in getting into ethnicity and skin color and all that. I'm like, I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy in Arizona sitting in his room in a chair talking to his phone, holding up a microphone. That's just me. And so when it goes to things like that, it's like I don't know. But that's a little bit about me. I guess even to make this video a little bit further, I wish to cover up this wall. The brick wall is very annoying. I hope to get rid of those blankets there. The orca actually might stay. If you don't know, actually a little bit more fun fact about me: orcas are my favorite animal. Uh, I've always actually found it very funny that a lot of people actually are scared of orcas, and I go, "But why though?" And they go, "Because they're like creepy and they're like psychotic animals." And I go, "I guess, but if you're careful and like searching for them, you're not gonna get hurt. If you just so happen to be in the ocean and then they start like, you know, getting next to the boat, it's their territory. It's your fault for being there. No offense." Oh yeah, I'm wearing a Jurassic Park shirt. My favorite movie is actually The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Yeah, I have a very hot take on that movie because I guess I'm part of like a very small minority of people who actually think the sequel is better than the original. So yeah, there's a lot of people who really love Jurassic Park. Don't get me wrong, Jurassic Park is a legendary movie, but I don't know. I like the second one better. I think the soundtrack is better. I think the characters are better. I think Okay, actually, I don't think the characters are better. I'll take that back. But I do think that the way that the animals are handled, there's a lot more animals. There's a lot more dinosaurs in the sequel, and the dinosaurs are handled so much more better in the sequel than they are in the original film. So that's just my opinion. And I can go and rant on about the Lost World and even the Jurassic franchise probably for a full on like hour. I could probably do that. Um, yeah. I can't really show you guys as well, but there's a lot of like Legos right in my room right now too. Like I bet if I picked up the camera and like panned it like a little bit, you can probably see. But yeah, there's so many Legos around my room, so that the camera doesn't like literally right here. Where you can't see like this hand off screen is pointing. There's a table right here. It's not really a table, but like there's a bunch of Legos on top of it, and also inside of it. I won't ever do a room tour for safety reasons. No, I won't ever do that. You can actually kind of see it there, back there on this side of the door. You can actually kind of see a little bit. No, you can only see the cross. Never mind. Right next to the cross, though. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, yeah. Literally, like right in front of the cross, and also right next to it is like a bunch of Legos. Yeah, I loved Legos as a kid. Obviously, kind of grew out of passion because I've just been broke from college. Like I can't buy them; they're really expensive, guys. um, what else? Yeah, I don't really got anything really else except for the fact that I do play games. I'm not going to mention what games. But yeah, uh, I've just ranted for 17 minutes about myself. I think that's pretty good, actually. It's really nice. I've always been kind of like the type of person that's I hate icebreakers. Like I hate them. It's always like kind of like weird, like being forced to talk about myself in front of other people because I'm always like, I don't know, I got nothing interesting about me. I'm not really, I'm just a shy guy. I don't really talk about myself really ever. And then here I am spending 17 minutes ranting on about myself for a YouTube video, just so that people can understand. My what kind of like a bit of me, to introduce identity. Obviously, the next videos will be more like detailed and less about me, obviously. Um, but like, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Like losing traction now. But yeah. I like to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for if you're new here and you liked this video and you like to hear more, this is a lot very much different than my usual content. Just letting you know, like my usual content is very detailed, grounded content, giving you a kind of like Christian perspective on sort of things. I want to dabble into the Bible at some point. I don't really know how to. So far I'm just literally recording from my phone and I'm literally just hooked up a mic to it. And like this is like the first time I've ever done something like this. So obviously content will be a bit videos will be a bit stunted just due to the fact that I don't have the best technology. But subscribing makes it all worth it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, also I'm gonna post shorts daily, or at least try to post shorts daily. But not on weekends. Weekends are my time and are the time I can actually truly vacation away from social media. So I don't post anything on weekends. Obviously, if you guys comment and stuff, I'll comment back and you can call that cheating. I really don't. I think it's cheating if I was to open YouTube and comment on other comment sections, but for my comment section and for my viewers, I don't consider that social media. Unless you guys are gonna start spoiling like what's going on in the world, then I might consider that cheating. But I don't think any of you guys would do that. So, yeah. I don't go on social media on weekends. That's not something I do. Um, but yeah, you can catch my other social medias though. I don't know how to link stuff in the description just yet, but I will put out the usernames for those. You can follow me on Instagram at EddieIV19. I believe there's an underscore between the Eddie and the I. So just be sure. And then also same thing with TikTok. Yes, I have a tech talk. I don't know what to do with them just yet. Just by the way, I remember last year when I was posting the shorts, which I do. Yeah, shorts. I just forgot what I said, and then I realized, and I was like, wait, I already said that. So yeah, yeah. I remember last year. When I say last year, like it was long ago, literally last month, when I was posting the daily shorts saying that you're loved. I remember I wanted to do those originally actually on Instagram, so as reels. So shorts will probably soon be posted as both, and probably actually by the time you're watching this video, they probably have already started up again. Um, but yeah, also probably as you're watching this video, I've probably already discovered what I'm gonna like do for their shorts. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like the video, comment if you'd like. Comment to see what other videos I should do. Comment recommendations. I'm open to criticism and to open to ideas. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on things. I'm also very much surprised that the microphone has actually lasted all video. I actually had to check and see, and silly me, the indicator literally shows that it's connected still. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Yeah, God bless. All right, bye.